Wow, hello everybody. Hope you're all doing great. Welcome back to the channel. I guess I should have recorded down at the bottom of the hill because now I'm going to be puffing and panting, talking as I go up this hill here. So today I've come back to where it all started actually. Now my YouTube channel, I can't remember exactly when I started it. I don't know if it was 4 years ago or 5 years ago. I have a feeling it was 4 years ago. But my very first video was at a place called Sooke Potholes, and that's where we are today. There's a waterfall not very far, it's about a kilometre or so up a trail, and I thought I'd come back to where it all started and see what kind of shots I can get at this waterfall. So I hope you can join me throughout this video. I'll go through my compositions and my thought process, and I might even go through my processing for this one, but we'll see how it goes, see how long the video goes. I don't want it to drag out too long. Right, let's see what we can find. I must admit I am having a bit of a hard time today. Not sure why. Probably because I've been here a number of times over the years, and I'm finding it a little bit difficult to come up with something different. Now, having said that, this tree on the right here has some pretty nice roots that I think I could do something with them. So I've decided to use that as a foreground and then have the waterfall in the background. But again, I'm having to do multiple exposures because the top of the waterfall is just so bright, even in these overcast conditions. And also, the roots are quite close to the front of the lens, even with a wide angle. So on top of that, I'm going to have to do a little bit of focus stacking, probably just 2 or 3 images. It's a beautiful scene, but like I said, just having a hard time coming up with something new. I'm using a shutter speed of about 1/5 of a second, 1/4 of a second, and also a polarizer. I use the polarizer sparingly like I do in my forest photography because I do like a little bit of sheen on especially the roots in the foreground, because I think it gives it a little bit of texture and depth. If you use full polarization, it just gets rid of all the reflections and then you lose that texture. Right, time to make some dinner. Now then, I'm going to try something a little bit different today. I brought with me a rice cooker, and it should actually work off my battery, but we'll see how it goes. See, it's like a little tiny rice cooker, and the reason why I don't want to do it in a pot is because I often burn the rice. So with this, it in theory should work. So we'll just go and get the battery. So I'm just using the Jackery here. I'll put that over there, and there's my little rice cooker. Just plug that in, and we'll see how that goes. Wow, look at that. Seems to be working. Of course, the battery is going down pretty quick, but it's definitely working. The water's boiling, and the rice should be ready probably in about 10 minutes. Right, while I'm waiting for the rice to cook, a number of you have asked me about Gavin and what's happened to Gavin. Well, Gavin and Amanda have actually moved out to Nova Scotia on the east coast of Canada, and so unfortunately Gavin and I won't be doing very many vlogs in the near future anyway. We do have a project planned sometime this year, but yeah, he's moved out to Nova Scotia. They've bought a house out there. They're going to fix up the house, and they're going to make a go of it out there. So yeah, I'll really miss Gavin and Amanda, but I wish them all the luck, and I hope things really work out for them. I guess the nice thing about moving to a new location is that they'll have some new areas to explore. But as far as me moving, I'm pretty much set in my ways. I just absolutely love British Columbia, and I love the West Coast, so I don't think I'll be moving anytime soon. But yeah, so that's what's happened to Gavin and Amanda. Ooh, I'm about to burn. As far as dinner goes, it's not very special. I seem to eat these quite often. They're Indian. They're packaged kind of. You just put the package in the pot and heat them up. I quite like them actually, but they don't look very appetizing. But whatever. So as far as my van goes, as you can see, I haven't really done much since last year. I'm slowly doing things. You may or may not have noticed I got some new tires and some new rims, and I'm going to get the front bumper done as soon as the kit is ready. I ordered it maybe a week or so ago, then I have to get it made. And the steps on the sides, I'm going to get those redone because one of them is actually rusted right through, so it's not even being held at one corner of it. And then this section here, I still have to box all this in and put doors on and such. I've just been busy doing other stuff, but I'll get to it eventually. I have a new slider for this. This works great, except that it doesn't lock. So whenever I'm driving, it keeps hitting the back door here, so that's no good. So I've got some different sliders with locks on them, and I'll put those on. I have all the bits and pieces, it's just a matter of putting it all together. But I really want to do it soon because the van is always a mess because I've got nowhere to put stuff, and that's what all these spaces are here. Eventually there'll be cubby holes or little cupboards where I can put my stuff and just leave it in there and store it. But this stuff all takes time, eh? Right, this is almost done. The rice is almost done. Now the rice did take a bit longer than usual, but it worked. Well, the rice turned out great. It took a little bit longer, but as you can see, no burnt pots. except that I suspect this is probably some kind of Teflon, which is definitely not very good for you. There we go. Well, that works. And how much power do we have left? We have started off at 99%, and we're down to 84. So that's pretty good. Well, at least it works. Good morning, everybody. It was a bit chilly last night. I was surprised. Spring is definitely on its way, but those mornings can still be quite cold. I'm still in Sooke Regional Park, and I've decided to go and photograph another little waterfall that's right next to the road. The reason being is that the skies are clear this morning, and so I'm not going to have an awful lot of time for the light. As soon as that sun comes up high, it's not going to be that great, especially for forest photography. So I want to get that in the bag as quick as I can. I have photographed it before. It's not quite as nice as the waterfall I did yesterday, but it does have some merit. It has some nice mossy roots, and I don't know, I've seen some nice shots from there, so I think I could probably get something decent from that location. I'm just gonna have a quick cup of tea, and then just gonna head down the road and see what I can find. All right, so I think I found a pretty good angle, but I'm gonna have to hurry up because I could see sunlight hitting the trees in the hillside behind me there. The light is beautiful right now, especially on the moss in the foreground. Has a nice quality to it. It's not direct sunlight. There is a bit of cloud, so maybe it's going to cloud over. The thing about this waterfall is that it's one of those waterfalls that looks better from a distance because it's a couple of tiers. It looks like one big waterfall from a distance, but when you get up close, it doesn't quite look as good. It's not very steep. I think really this image is more about the moss and this cedar here, which is quite nice, and the waterfall is just kind of something that you can frame in the background, because if it was just the trees then it probably wouldn't work. Anyway, let's see how this goes. What I'm trying to do right now is I think this is an older this way. Now originally I was going to go into the middle of the stream, and I might still do that because the roots are quite mossy in the foreground here. But to get those I have to kind of go over to the left. But I kind of like the way that this alder and this cedar are framing the waterfall, so I'm going to give this a go first. And there's some nice roots down here as well. So this is the composition that I have so far. This is 16 by 9, so it's a little bit kind of squashed, but it kind of gives you the idea. What I like about it actually is you'll notice there's some nice light on the alder here, the side lighting, so I can really enhance that in Photoshop or Lightroom. I could probably darken this section here, and this is beautiful in here, these roots here. The only issue I'm having is the waterfall is very bright, so again I'm going to have to use a different shutter speed, ISO and all that, and underexpose it a little bit so it's not too bright, and then just kind of paint that in layers with Photoshop. Yeah, it's beautiful. Alright, I think I might have been a bit too close, so I'm going to back up a little bit and try and get a bit of a wider view. So I think I need to be where the video camera is, so let's do that. Now, I've talked about this quite a few times in the past, about different focal lengths and changing your perspective. And where I am right now, the emphasis is on pretty much the tree and the mossy boulders, but they have kind of an equal kind of presence in the photograph. And the waterfall, even though it's the kind of main subject, those things frame the waterfall. Now, if I want to really emphasize the mossy boulders, then a way to do that is to get in really close with a wide angle lens, and then that'll take dominance in the image. The waterfall will still be quite present because it's so bright, because your eye goes straight to it, but by getting closer with a wide angle, you're really emphasizing foreground, and that becomes the dominant part in the image. So you have to kind of decide, well, what is it that I want to have as the main kind of subject in the photograph? Is it the foreground? And does that foreground relate to the background? And if it doesn't, then why are you including a foreground? You know, things like that. So I'll just take a quick couple of shots here, and then I'll get close to these boulders down here and see if I can get something down there. Alright, it looks like the sun is starting to come over the hillside here, so I'm pretty much out of time when it comes to light. So I think I'm going to head home. Thank you ever so much for watching this week's video. I really appreciate it. If you'd like to support my channel, please be sure to give me the old thumbs up. That really helps a lot. Or if you'd like to leave a comment. If you'd like to help my channel in other ways, be sure to head on over to my website where I have some hats for sale and my third printing of Quiet Light. And I'm also coming up with a couple of more book projects, so keep an eye out for those in the next coming weeks. Alright folks, thank you ever so much. And from Sooke Potholes, until next week, bye bye.